There are albums that go beyond music, albums that are not just collections of songs, but deeply personal statements, cultural milestones, and artistic revolutions. Artaud, released in 1973, is one such album. Though officially credited to Pescado Rabioso, it is in reality a solo work by Luis Alberto Spinetta. But what makes Artaud such an extraordinary piece of music? What inspired Spinetta to create such a deeply introspective and avant-garde album? And what is the connection between this record and the French writer Antonin Artaud? Today, we're going to explore the genius of Artaud, an album that changed the landscape of Latin American rock forever. To understand Artaud, we first need to understand its namesake, Antonin Artaud. Born in 1896, Artaud was a French poet, playwright, and actor, known for his radical artistic vision. He developed the concept of the theater of cruelty, which aimed to break traditional storytelling structures and evoke raw emotion in audiences. His life was marked by mental illness, institutionalization, and a deep frustration with the state of art and society. Spinetta, who was always drawn to literature, felt a strong connection to Artaud's works, particularly his essay, Van Gogh, the Man Suicided by Society. In this text, Artaud explores the idea that society systematically destroys those who see the world differently, something Spinetta deeply resonated with. By the early 1970s, Argentina was facing increasing political instability, censorship, and repression. Spinetta saw parallels between Artaud's critique of society and the reality he was living in. This became the foundation for Artaud, an album that sought to break conventions, question reality, and push the boundaries of music and poetry. The making of Artaud was unconventional. At the time, Spinetta had disbanded Pescado Rabioso, feeling constrained by the band's heavier rock sound. However, due to contractual obligations, the album was released under the band's name, even though Spinetta composed and performed almost everything himself, with occasional contributions from his brother Gustavo Spinetta and musicians Rodolfo Garcia and Emilio Del Guercio from Almendra. Instead of using complex rock arrangements, Spinetta took a more stripped-down, intimate approach. The album features mostly acoustic guitar and delicate piano, giving it an almost ethereal quality. Now, let's take a closer look at the songs that make up this masterpiece. The opening track, Todas las hojas son del viento, sets the tone for the album. It's a delicate acoustic piece, advising a young mother to care for her child with love and wisdom. This song encapsulates Spinetta's philosophical outlook on life, fragility, nature, and human connection. Then comes Cementerio Club, one of the few tracks with an electric blues feel, evoking a sense of existential crisis. The lyrics suggest isolation and disillusionment, themes that resonate throughout the album. Perhaps the most famous song on Artaud is Bayan. With its hypnotic guitar melody and introspective lyrics, it captures the fleeting nature of life, the passage of time, and the beauty of small moments. Decades later, Bajan would be famously covered by Gustavo Cerati, cementing its status as a timeless classic. Supercheria is another standout track. The lyrics critique blind faith in false beliefs, aligning with Artaud's philosophy of breaking away from societal illusions. The song builds in intensity, mirroring a journey toward enlightenment and self-awareness. One of the most fascinating aspects of Artaud is its unconventional structure and sound design. Unlike traditional rock albums of the time, which were often meticulously produced, Artaud feels raw and organic. Spinetta's voice sometimes sounds distant, almost as if he's whispering secrets directly to the listener. This intimacy is intentional. Spinetta wanted the listener to feel like they were inside his mind, experiencing his thoughts as they flowed naturally. The lack of traditional song structures in some tracks adds to this dreamlike quality. The album's closing track, Pour, is perhaps the most experimental. The lyrics are fragmented, surrealist poetry, almost nonsensical at first glance, but deeply evocative. This song perfectly embodies the spirit of Antonin Artaud, rejecting logic, embracing chaos, and challenging the listener to find meaning in the seemingly absurd. Beyond its musical brilliance, Artaud is a statement about artistic freedom. At a time when Argentina was on the brink of political turmoil, Spinetta refused to conform to commercial expectations. He took risks, both musically and thematically, and in doing so, created an album that remains as relevant today as it was in 1973. The original vinyl release of Artaud was unique as well. It came in an unusual, oversized green cover, different from standard LP formats, symbolizing its nonconformity. Everything about Artaud was meant to break the mold. Over 50 years later, Artaud continues to inspire musicians, writers, and thinkers. It is more than an album. It is a piece of art that challenges us to see the world differently, to question reality, and to embrace both beauty and chaos. Luis Alberto Spinetta was not just a musician, he was a poet, a visionary, a seeker of truth, and Artaud is his magnum opus. What do you think about Artaud? Have you ever listened to it with this perspective in mind? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the greatest albums of all time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more explorations into the world of music and literature. Until next time, keep questioning, keep listening, and keep discovering.